Hi, and thank you for joining us. It is a great day to be alive. This segment is for all my woman-to-woman divas, those that are determined, intelligent, victorious, anointed, awake, and alive. You're not going to love me after this, but guess what? I love you with the love of God, and there's nothing that you can do about it. Why did I just say that? I've heard your opinions, your email, your text messages, your phone calls, and I had to call in some guys that I believe would actually give you some insight to all those questions that you've been answering. Where is my Boaz, Tammie? Why can I not keep a man? You know, what am I doing wrong? How do men think, and what do they want according to the Word of God? But more importantly, we're going to get some natural insight, because many times we can be so spiritual that we really miss the whole entail of what we're doing. So put your hands together and welcome my guest with me, Mr. Gerard Ellis, and of course, Mr. Eric Tucker Rice. Thank you guys so very much for joining me. I said a mouthful, didn't I? What do men want? But before you answer that, I have a specific question. What does the Word of God say how men should actually treat women?
Well, in my opinion, Tammie, I'm gonna use one word: respect.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of women don't really read into the word like they need to.
Yeah.
And understand what is God expecting of you as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's respect. You know, you had to respect yourself as a woman, respect yourself as a mother, and respect yourself to know your role in a relationship. And a lot of women have kind of ventured off from that role.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, you know, a lot of things are upside down, and I mean, different cultures and different ethnic relationships.
Wow. Okay, so I heard respect. Eric, you want to tag in on that?
Well, I think this kind of sums it up when it says men should love their wife as Christ loved the church.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know what Christ did for the church when he went to the cross and died and gave himself for the church.
Yeah.
So to me, what men should do is they should love their wives that way. They're going to protect them. They're going to provide for them. They're going to be there for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if men do those things, then they would be doing what Christ would have them to do as pertains to women.
Oh, I just love you. Did you all hear that? I love you, love you, love you. With that being said, what is love? How do a male define love? Because women, sometimes we see it differently. And I don't want any gray areas today. I wanted to really put it on the table so the women that are watching, you all should actually have a note card right now taking notes. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. I hope that you're enjoying this segment of love and relationships on the Tammie Tubb Show. We're going to be back with Gerard Ellis and Eric Tucker Rice. Stay tuned.
Alpha Insurance was founded 65 years ago by folks who understood the future. They established principles which made Alpha the strong company it is today. Their legacy? Financial strength and fast, effective claim service for you. For 65 years, we've been right there with you. We're looking forward to the next 65.
For a plan built just for you, contact Greg Ott in Tupelo.
Now, we were talking about submissive. What thoughts did you all have?
When it comes to submissiveness, Tammie, a lot of women don't understand how to support their role. Mm-hmm. and to support a man's role. And I often give women this example to explain to them how society looks at things and how God looks at things.
I'm listening.
Let's just say if you have two men and women, they're married, right? Mm-hmm. And they have 3 kids. Okay, if there are no lights on, there's no clothes on the kids' back, and there's no food on the table, when people come to that house, who are they going to look at?
The provider.
They're going to look at that man.
The provider, which would be the man.
So with that being said, you know, women need to understand their role and to respect a man that if he's a hardworking father, if he's a good man, he's a hardworking man. You know, if you have a man like that in your possession, mm-hmm. you know, support that man.
Yeah.
Because if right now, if you go home right now, say a man and a woman, and that woman says, I don't want to work anymore. Mm-hmm. She can say that. Me and Eric, men, we can't ever make that decision to say that we're not going to provide. So that's why I often tell women, make sure you respect a man in that position and be submissive to your man and be supportive to your man.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Eric?
I definitely agree with what he just said. You know, I think in this new age of independent woman, Miss Beyonce, got women feeling a certain way that they can do everything on their own and
Yeah.
they don't need any help. And true enough, a lot of women, they do those things.
Yeah.
But I think when you have a man that's willing to go to work every day, that's willing to take care of the things that need to be taken care of, then you should respect that man in that position, and be thankful to have one that's willing to do that, because there are so many that just lay at home and don't do anything.
Exactly.
And so when you have one that's willing to step up to the plate, take care of responsibilities, I think in this day and age and society in which we live, I think women ought to be grateful to have someone like that.
Wow, I heard that word, grateful. Here I go. Tammie Tubbs is turning flips right now. When I hear from my women, this is what I hear. I can't trust them. I thought we were in a great relationship, but I couldn't trust them. My heart was broken, Tammie. How can I be grateful for something that didn't work? I guess what I'm trying to ask, I hear you're hardworking, make sure that the house is provided for, but should I share you with other women? Is that something that a woman should tolerate?
In my opinion, Tammie, no. Because God said a marriage is supposed to be between a man and a woman. And have you ever noticed, even without relationship, you can put this with anything in life. Anytime you go outside of God's word, don't you get in trouble?
Exactly. He's going to rebuke you. He's going to correct you.
You're going to get in trouble. Every time
Definitely.
you go outside of God's word, you're going to get in trouble. Now, as far as you've been hurt, you can't trust him. That man has nothing to do with that. That's something that you're going to have to find in your heart. That's something you're going to have to work on yourself to get over and go to God with that and fix yourself. You need to be fixed, not that man.
Healed. I like that word better. Healed, not
Healed.
fixed. I
Oh.
say healed. Fix means, we're about to. But yeah, healed. I like that better.
Yeah, so I mean, I would say to a lot of women, don't blow a great opportunity to be with a great person because you haven't found that peace within yourself and with God from that last relationship, because you can't generalize all men. All men are not the same.
Yeah.
And that's a big problem with women. They like to generalize all men, and it's not like that.
They bring the past hurt from other relationships into a fresh new relationship, which they haven't been healed, so they have that expectation that you're going to be just like or worse than the other gentleman in the way that he treated you. So you have these barriers, and now you can't be open to the Boaz that God is sending you because you have not been healed.
Healed.
Did I say that correctly?
Yeah, you said it very correctly.
Okay. Eric, I see you wave. I can just hear you. I'm listening.
Well, I definitely agree with his answer. It's one of those situations where, when something bad happens, something don't go the way that it should go, somebody go outside of the marriage or go outside of the relationship. At that point, a decision has to be made. You either decide, I'm going to stick with this person, or I'm going to leave them. Now, obviously, if you leave them, then the relationship is over.
Yeah.
If you decide to stay in that relationship and decide that you're going to work on that relationship, then I think that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
You can't really be kind of in and kind of out, because then that causes more problems and more friction within relationship and make it harder to make that relationship work. So I think, like I said, you have two choices. You can stay in it, or you can decide, I don't want to deal with that. But there's a lot of relationships that someone have stepped outside and they ended up being, great relationships on down the road. So it's not to say that, when you do wrong, somebody does wrong relationship, that the relationship still can't work, because there are great examples of, relationships that do still work.
Yeah.
If you go to the Bible and look at David, he was a person that did wrong, but God saw fit to, save David, and he still went on to do great things.
I love that. And it's called forgiveness.
Right.
Sometimes you have to be willing to love, but walk in forgiveness.
Right.
And I think for women, we harbor that pain so much. And I can say this because this is what I hear. When we're ministering to them, we're mentoring them, they're so hurt that they can't accept, the love that's being given because they're still in the past. And sometimes you have to just let it go. And I believe that's where you all find all of the issues, the complications, and you can't understand us because we have not found that inner peace within ourselves. What have been some of the greatest challenges that you all have experienced with women? This is very personal.
Well, at my age now, I'm 31, so one of the biggest challenges that I see now in relationship is the act of just being able to, how can I put this without, I'm trying to not sound so sexist.
Just be you.
But, well, one of the biggest challenges I find with women is, like the word I said, reciprocation. And a lot of women, they at this point of their life, you know, they're my age, and they want somebody, they're looking for somebody to give. You know, but, you know, we got to look at things where, you know, in the sense of, let's take care of each other. And though that's one of the biggest things that I'm having a problem with, and where I live, location.
Yeah.
After you have that sense of spontaneity, and you go out and you travel, you do a lot of things, you're meeting different people, and you know, when you come from a small town, it's harder to date.
Yeah.
It's harder to date because you know everybody in your town. You know, so that's one of the biggest issues I deal with now, just location and a lot of that reciprocation from women, you know, being able to offer something to the relationship.
Yeah.
So that's
So do you feel your expectation has totally changed since you've had that exposure?
Yes, that is exactly what I'm trying to say. Since I know a lot, I mean, since I know who I am now and I know what I want in life, I guess I want to put in layman terms, say pickings are slim in small towns. So that's one of the things that I battle now.
Yeah.
You know, it just not being able to find that type of cultured woman that I would like to date. So
I guess that's why the Bible said, he that finds. And so when you're finding, that means you have to do what? You have to seek. You may have to relocate to go find what you believe that God has really designed for you. Eric, what has been some of your greatest challenges before you got married?
I think some of the greatest challenges is finding somebody that you're equally yoked with. You know, somebody that have the same values, the same goals, the same dreams, the same aspirations that you have.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you may see a young lady, she look really nice, but she don't have any dreams or goals of doing anything with herself besides, like you say, take. You just want to find somebody to
be a
give them
leech
this and give them that, and that's definitely not something that I'm looking for. I'm looking for, you know, I was looking for someone that was willing to share with me. I'm a high school football coach. Been a coach since all of my adult life, so that requires you to sometimes move. So far in my life, I haven't had to do that. But you need somebody that's willing to relocate at the drop of a hat, you know, based on, you know, what you're doing. And it goes back to that support that I was talking about earlier. And I think that's one of the greatest challenges for me.
Yeah, wow, I love that. We talked about respect. We talked about the support, you know, being submissive. What other, I should say, attributes?
Morals.
I love that.
That is the most important to me. Your morals. Where are your morals? You can't say you want a good man in your life, but you're at the club every weekend.
Oh, wow.
You got twerk videos on Facebook. You know, you mean, you're just disrespecting yourself as a woman because, you know, men, we look at that.
Yeah.
Men look for a woman that, in the sense, that we can take home to our moms. You know, a man looks at his woman as something precious. You know, and that's something that, you know, we men, we take very serious. So a lot of women don't really understand how a man loves and what a man wants.
Yeah.
You know, so, I mean, I think a lot of them get that kind of confused.
I'm happy you said morals because that's in reason how I contacted you. I made the comment on Facebook, and we actually got into, it wasn't heated fellowship. It was just one of those things where I felt like expressing myself. He felt like expressing himself, and we had an intervention in between. But the comment was, ladies, do not lose yourself in the midst of compromising. And my guest said, Tammie, as if he knew me, be sure to tell these ladies, and it was a great comment in regards to stop being so narrow-minded in a sense, because sometimes as women we have a list.
Right.
And your comment was, you may need to cut that down some, but my thing was don't lose yourself, because I've seen women who forget about working. They forget that they even exist as an individual, and they wrap themselves around that particular man that if he dies, they have no idea how to survive, or if he leaves them, you know, through a divorce, they are just clueless. So that was my thinking for the most part. But I totally understood what you said, and I want you to share.
Well, Tammie, basically on that comment, the only thing I was trying to elaborate on was I hear people talk about this standards all the time. Let me tell you something about standards. Standards will have you standing alone. Should you drop all of your standards? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm not saying settle at all, but understand every man is not going to be tall, dark, and handsome. You know, like Eric, I guess you would say, you know. But, you know, every man is not going to have a college degree. You know, you can't, if a man genuinely cares about you, very supportive, trying to be the man of the house, I don't care if he's on the back of a garbage truck.
Hardworking.
Hardworking.
Yeah.
Support that man with what he's trying to do. You know, because just being realistic, I mean, just to put it out there on the table, women outnumber men in this country, what, 3 to 1? I'm thinking more. And in the African-American communities, women outnumber men, what, 7 to 1? So, just being realistic, ladies, I mean, pickings are slim. And you got to think about the hundreds of thousands of men that are in prison that you won't get to date. You got to think about the hundreds of thousands of men now that are gay. And you got to think about the thousands of men now that are just hanging out on the corner that you're not interested in at all. So if you got a decent brother that is truly in your corner, I say support that man. I say support that man.
You see, I'm speechless, right?
Yeah.
For the first time, I'm speechless. Like, sometimes you just have to know when to roll them and know when to fold them. Eric, I'm listening.
Well, I mean, I have 100%.
Of course you would.
Ain't much to add to that. You know, but like he was saying, you know, morals, because, you know, the way you dress, the way you carry yourself.
So you all are telling me right now that eye candy, you like to see that, but that's not something you would take home to your mom or introduce as your girlfriend, someone who has on the cat suit.
Exactly.
You hesitated for a moment.
Well, I'm going to say that right there, as far as the sexism of the relationship, that needs to be just private.
Okay.
That needs to be private. But a man loves a lady. You know, I mean, any man, I don't care who he is or what type of man he is, at the end of the day, he wants a lady. He wants a lady, so.
So when you say lady, Eric, I want you to answer this. You know, we talked about how sometimes as women we grow up and our mothers are independent, they're strong, and so the daughters, we tend to follow those same patterns for the most part. And we come up thinking that I got to fight, I got to brawl, you know, I got to defend myself. So you all want a classy lady versus someone that you got to be arguing, fussing, and punching and all of that. Is that what I'm hearing?
Definitely. I mean, you know, I come from a home with a mom and a dad, obviously, in the church, and that's what we did. My mom always wore long dresses. My sisters always wore long dresses. And, you know, just short, skimpy stuff just wasn't something that that appealed to me as it pertains to someone that you would date. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, you may hang out with them, but there's a difference between hanging out and dating and somebody that you're trying to move forward with in a relationship.
I hope my audience heard that. He just said something. There's a difference between hanging out and actually dating. Continue.
Exactly. So, you know, when those things come into play, I think a lady that can be beautiful when they're covered up, you know, I think those ladies kind of have the edge when it comes to, you know, getting a man, dating a man, keeping a man, in my opinion.
And a lot of women don't understand too, Tammie, that, you know, you can't emulate what you see on TV. You know, that's when you've lost yourself, as you were telling the ladies. You have to know who you are.
Exactly.
And know what you want. Because at the end of the day, you got to live with you. And a lot of women don't understand that, you know, when it comes down to dating, a man is going to go after really pursue somebody he wants. If he's not trying to pursue you, then you're not who he wants. You got to understand, you got to, and a lot of people, this goes for men and women right here, what I'm about to say. A lot of people need to understand, you need to want somebody that wants you.
Yeah.
And women, if you are a lady, you're dressing ladylike, you present yourself as a lady, date the, I'm going to say this, date the type of man that appreciate the type of woman that you are.
Say that again.
Date the type of man that appreciate the type of woman that you are. Because when I was growing up, and we men, we say this all the time, I'm sure Eric has said it, we say women like these street guys, the thugs, this and that, and people used to always, you know, a lot of my brothers used to always tell me, man, don't ever change up who you are.
Yeah.
Always date the type of woman that appreciates a gentleman, a clean cut guy. You know, don't change yourself to try to fit into society's views and norms. Date the type of person that appreciate the type of person you are, and you'll never lose. Want somebody that wants you. It'll make life so much easier.
Okay, I have to go back because this question is zipping through my mind and I have to let it out. You said that a man, if he's interested, he will pursue you, which means that the woman, you can just stand still. There's no need for you to be calling, texting, sending pictures and all of that.
I'm not saying that at all.
Okay.
I'm not saying at all. You have to put in effort. Everybody both to put in effort.
Let's say you don't know each other. So if you're trying to get to know someone, should she pursue you or he pursue her?
I think there needs to be a mutual interest.
Okay.
And that is usually established when y'all first talk. Because a man knows, and let me tell you how a man thinks. A man knows from his first conversation with you how far he wants to take. You getting put into a category.
Oh,
right then
I love it. You all have heard me say that so many times. You just heard it from a male.
Right then and there. I'm going to put you in a category. When I meet a woman, I put her in a category.
Wow. They've heard me say that so many times. For you to sit here on the Tammie Tubb Show and share that with them, they know that I am not delusional, because that's something that as women we need. You either, and then you, never mind. Okay,
he's
Eric,
not going to say it, but he's going to sign you up for a certain package.
Of course.
You're going to have a certain package, and a lot of women don't understand that. I think it's about 4 or 5 packages that you can sign up for. You know, I don't want to elaborate on those packages.
You see, I'm just shaking my head. I had to stop because I was about to go in detail, and that's something that you all may want to join us at the Woman to Woman Empowerment, where our theme, and you all will actually be there to help us with this, and it's very simple. It is simple. Act like a lady, but think like a queen. It's time for us as women to raise our standards. So if you all want to hear more intimate details, as Gerard was actually about to discuss, you have to be there, and that's going to be November 29th through the 30th of 2013, and I'm so excited. Eric, you're rocking. Come on, help us out, because I'm just tickled with this.
Listen, the words he just said was so powerful. You know, like when the preacher's preaching, and the deacons on the amen corner, they say amen.
Wow. Any other words of wisdom that you would like to give our audience? Because this segment was actually for them. They asked me, and I wanted to make sure that I had some answers for them as far as what a man wants when he's looking for a woman, and things that we may be doing incorrectly, so that we can correct them and sit still and wait for you all, that Boaz, to come along.
Well, I think women need to change their perspective on how they date, how they look at relationships, and how they look at men in general. Because, I mean, people have to understand, when a person is dating, is trying to date you, they need to, if you want to know if a person really loves you, really wants you, you got to understand that a person needs to feel lucky that they have you. If I ask Eric right now, Eric, are you lucky that you have your wife in your life?
No question.
A man has to feel like that about it. He has to feel like, I'm lucky to have Tammie.
Wow.
You know, because, an example right here. Tammie, if I gave you a diamond ring right now.
Oh, he gonna put me on the spot.
Yes, I'm gonna put Tammie Tubb on the spot.
Are you serious?
If I gave you a diamond ring right now, would you take care of it?
Of course.
Would you polish it? Would you clean it? Would you keep it up?
It's a diamond.
Right, exactly. What if I gave you a Cadillac Escalade? Would you clean it? Would you take care of it?
Of course.
Make sure your truck is looking good?
Well, my man would, yeah.
But
definitely.
you know, exactly
yes.
what I'm saying. Because you feel like something, that's something worth.
As a treasure,
You feel like that's something worth keeping good. That's something worth treating good. Guess what, Tammie? A man got to think of you the same way.
Can you look into my camera and tell my audience that right now? Because they need to hear that.
A man needs to look at you as if he's lucky to have you. If he don't feel like he's lucky to have you, he's not finna pursue you. And you're not worth chasing. You're not worth pursuing. You have to be the type of woman that that man really needs in his life, and he feels like he's lucky to have you, and it would kill him to lose you.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Wow, I'm speechless, you
And
guys.
I often tell women a lot of times, you know, and this goes for men and women. I don't care how gorgeous you are. I don't care how nice your body is, how much long hair you got. You can be a registered nurse making 50, 60 grand. Guess what? That man still got to want you.
Wow.
And I tell guys, I don't care how smooth and suave you are. I don't care how big your house is. I don't care how nice your car is. Guess what? She'll be over there with that nobody. Because guess what? That's who she wants.
Exactly.
A person got to want you.
Exactly.
And if that person leaves you, if that person ain't treating you right, obviously, they don't want you.
I have a question. When are you going to publish your book?
Actually, I've been doing a lot of writing, Tammie, and I've been talking with a few people, and
It's
you know,
time.
I got something like that coming.
It's
I got something
time.
like that coming. So.
I think that the world needs to hear your voice because you are making some people upset right now, but at the same time, you are definitely drilling it home. And sometimes you need to be shaken and rattled a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
So
I'd
I
rather
thank
hurt
you
your-
for your honesty.
I'd rather hurt your feelings than to break your heart.
And that's what relationships are really about, in all honesty, whether it's woman to woman or, you know, male to male, just friendships or whatever. If they cannot be honest with you and truthful, I don't believe you need them around.
Exactly.
I would rather for you to tell me the truth than for me to make a fool out of myself. So I truly appreciate you and your honesty and your straightforwardness today. I really do. I really do. Eric, any other nuggets that you want to give since you're married? He's talked from the single perspective as far as being married.
I think for women and men, you know, if you want to find a mate, then you need to put yourself in position to get that done. I know, obviously, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of marriages and relationships that has formed,
Yeah.
you know, in a club or somewhere in that type setting. But you know, the type of woman that you're probably looking for, she probably not going to be in the club setting.
Wow.
You know,
Right,
you're
right.
going to probably find those type ladies, you know, in the church doing things of God. From my perspective, you know, you can't be. I'm like you, and I got to find the right words to say to make sure you say the right stuff. You know, you can't be playing the field, you know, trying to go over here and get this from that guy and get this from that guy. Well, you're never going to find the type of man you're looking for that way, because materialistic things are the things that you are looking for. You're not going to find love you know, and materialistic things both at the same time.
Wow.
I think once you find love,
Yeah.
you know, then the materialistic thing will come. If in that relationship you submit yourself to God and do the things that He would have you to do.
I love that, how you just said submit yourself to God. If you just submit yourself to God and sit still, He'll send the right people in your life.
Right.
Some things, all you have to do is just let your requests be known unto Him. And I'm a firm believer, write the vision. Whatever your vision is, ladies, of what you're desiring in a man, take it from me. All you have to do is write it, make it plain. God will send it directly to you. Signed, sealed, and delivered indeed. Gerard, I can hear your voice right now. What are you thinking as we're going off? It has been a pleasure, but I'm sure there's something that you want to end us with.
No, only thing I want to just tell the viewers, the ladies, to make sure when you're dating, find a man that's trying to be a man of God.
I love that.
That's all
You said a word, trying. He may not always have it
He's not
together
gonna be
right there.
perfect.
No, no one is
Be
perfect.
realistic.
But ladies, you've heard me say this. If you say you're the woman that you say you are, help him and birth him out. That's the best way I can say it. I love you all so very much. Thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure. We will see you all November 2013 at our Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Queen, Woman to Woman Empowerment Conference. You guys, it is going to be one that you do not want to miss. I love you all so very much. God bless you, and we'll see you next time on the Tammie Tubb Show. Until then, be blessed.